this video, I'll be reviewing the cookbook, Cook This Book by Molly Baz. Molly Baz is an American chef who is also known for internet personality. She has over 600,000 followers on Instagram. Is also known for showing up on the web series of Bon Appetit. She's not in Bon Appetit anymore after the Great Purge in 2020. If you want to know more about that, I recommend this video by Jack Saint. It kind of goes over the timeline and the problems that Bon Appetit had. And I didn't really follow Bon Appetit in the glory days. I kind of picked up on it after everything kind of settled and there's not really anyone there anymore. A lot of people say Bon Appetit is like the office of cooking, and I kind of agree with that. There's a lot of different personalities and characters you get to know throughout the series. If I had to rank everyone, I would say Molly's kind of in the middle for me. She's not that exciting, but she's not terrible. She's just okay. But you know, no judgment here. Everyone has their favorite. Except if you like Adam, then there's something wrong with you. I think after Bon Appetit, she decided to work on this book and do something else besides making YouTube videos for other content creators and just do it on her own. So what do I think of this book? I think there are a lot of good things about this book, but a lot of bad things about this book. The spin of this book is that it's meant to teach you how to cook. The idea about learning in this book is to actually cook the recipes and go through them instead of learning a lot of technical jargon and scientific facts that maybe the food lab might have. These recipes are more creative with the home cook in mind, and she has a lot of great tips on the recipes and maybe some notes about common frequently asked questions about the recipes. She has a QR code for techniques, so you can scan it and watch a video of her on how to cook this. I think it's a cool idea. The only thing is, I don't know if this book is going to last more than 10 years because the website could go down one day and then suddenly you don't have to link to the video anymore. It's not as future-proof as you might think. You can actually view this website at mollybaz.com/technique, so you can go check it out if you want to. I like in the beginning that has the basic concepts of cooking food, like how to season food properly, where you do it one at a time as you're cooking, how to prepare everything, mise en place, you know, how to execute cooking. It's really helpful to see these breakdowns. And then she also has a template for recipes, so you can kind of easily step through it and know where everything is because everything's always the same. I think the recipes are really helpful, the way they're laid out, because it tells you to prepare everything first. The biggest issue I have with this book is the writing. It's really, really cringy and kind of try hard. I don't know how to say it, but it comes off as she's trying to be cool and edgy, and it just doesn't work at all. There's stuff like Crispy Town, USA, or she calls sandwiches sando. Now at first I thought sando referenced maybe a Japanese style sandwich, but it doesn't even relate to that. It's just cut down for some reason. She also uses a lot like, oh, this is badass, this is epic. I mean, I'll read a passage for you guys just so you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. Warning. Attempting this recipe outside the confines of peak tomato season is a crime punishable by law. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Please don't do it. The glory of truly transcendent tomato toast is perfect high summer tomatoes. Yup, it's cringe. There's a bunch of writing like this throughout the book, so you can see how it kind of is off-putting. It doesn't really seem like fitting of her personality, in my opinion. I don't really get to learn anything about this chef's experiences, more of her just describing the food. Kind of like when cookbooks have a more genuine personality. And I know earlier I said the recipes are kind of laid out in a helpful way, but they're not as clear as I thought they would be. The slow roasted chicken doesn't say it should be straight out of the fridge. But on the side note, it talks about how a cold chicken takes a while to heat up. So it's kind of confusing because usually when I make a chicken, I leave it out to warm up before cooking it. But she explicitly wants you to keep it cold. Another issue I have with this book is really heavy on the meat recipes and a lot of cream. Avoid this book if you just don't like really heavy meaty dishes. Most of these recipes have just a lot of meat. There's also not really a big food theme on this. It's more of just Americana. I don't think that's really a bad thing because she just wants you to have recipes that are kind of simple and you can learn how to cook, and the recipes can kind of range all over the place from Mediterranean to American to Mexican to fusion. But I can tell that Molly has a creative side to her recipes. A lot of them are pretty interesting and unique, and there are definitely a wide variety of ideas in this book. Baking also uses weight, so that's a plus. I tried out the shortbread recipe, and this is a problem I had where her recipes aren't really laid out well. Right in the beginning it tells you to preheat the oven, but then later on it tells you to stick the dough in the fridge for 30 minutes. So it just seems weird that you're preheating the oven for more than an hour because you have to take time to make the dough and then put it in the fridge to chill. So I wish that she said preheat the oven before you take out the dough. I even think if you're a fan of Molly, you're not really going to get much out of this book behind her philosophy in cooking and her personality. It just doesn't seem that right to me. I did find some other recipes I liked, like I tried the chorizo carbonara. It came out okay. I think I added too many chickpeas to this recipe. I found it kind of bland. This is kind of a spin on Spanish food, so I wish she kind of did something more with it. Also, it was a little confusing because she says to have half a lemon, but then she only tells you to use a lemon zest in the recipe. I just wish it was a little more clear on that. It should have said lemon zest in the recipe list. In my opinion, I think there's better books out there that teach you techniques, like Jock Pippin's Complete Techniques. It's way more laid out. There's way better techniques to learn. You know, it's very French, but it is very helpful when you're just a beginner and you want to learn techniques. I think this book is okay. It's not my favorite. Also, a side note is the pictures in here are not that great. They just seem kind of busy, or they're just not that focused. I can't describe it. It's just kind of really messy. I think this book has good ideas and good recipes, but I don't think it was executed very well. The pictures are kind of a mess, and the recipes are kind of a mess, so I think there's a lot more work that needed to be done in the layout and the thought of this book. Anyway, I'm giving this book a 5 out of 10.